Hey there. Good morning and good evening. I'm Herald, and some people call me Wilson. Some people call me Uncle if they're too young to me. Um, so you can call me in any name you want. I'm your friend, by the way. And it gives me an immense pleasure to stay connected in these kind of sessions that we are dealing with a lot of things and aspects about life. And thanks for your overwhelming feedback. Many people have appreciated saying that these kind of sessions are very, very helpful. So please don't stop and continue to do such things. And it's very good for our social growth. It's very good for our benefit. It's very good for what we are today compared to what we want to be in the future, right? And that's exactly the reason why we have started these kind of online sessions. You can call it as a motivational sessions. You can give it other title as the session that helps me to grow faster in my life for every meaningful reason, right? There are tons and tons of unmeaningful reasons why people start walking backward instead of marching forward. That's exactly the reason what we are trying to do through the sessions are to bring that light upon them, to pull them out of darkness. And that's it. When we give that light upon you, you just know who you are. All these days you had been living in darkness, and you knew not who the real who you were, right? And you had a problem which you were not aware, and that's not your fault. Nobody told you, and you didn't have time, or probably you had million other reasons that you couldn't rediscover or reinvent who you are. And that's the reason we are doing this. And all of us go through these problems. And here, what I'm doing is a simple effort of sharing what I had gone through. And you also can be a blessing. You also may have such talents. And don't stop yourselves. Expose yourself to the world. All right. Today here, um, we are here with a very, very interesting topic again, and a very important topic. Have you seen people reacting like a touch me not plant? You know, touch me not plant, right? The moment you touch it, it shrinks. You just can't near them. You just can't ask anything to them. The moment you go, they will shrink themselves and they will shy away and run and all that, right? And what is so interesting about these people are they are not born this way. Probably over a period of time, due to some incidents, due to some pressures, due to some failures, or due to some inducive thoughts that developed within them. It's not that somebody fed them with negativity or told them some horrifying stories, but it just developed for no reasons, and it just happened that way. And for some people, it is because of their habitual practices. They get involved into various things and they develop this touch me not kind of habit. And how we would like to entitle today's session is self sympathy, right? And you can also call it as a topic where people live in depressions, but we won't call it exactly depression. There are various other reasons for depressions, but one of the thread which we pulled from this big title called as depression is self sympathy or self pity, right? Have you seen people, you tell them little bit about, or little bit humorous, or you crack a joke of who they are, the way how they dress or walk, that's it. They can be upset for the whole year, right? They are inflicted, or they are having a problem, a psychological problem, or an emotional issue, or under kind of an emotional disturbance, and it requires proper treatment medically speaking. But then it's not a good habit to get into medications or go to the doctors all the time, right? The way how our system is created, it is designed in such a way that it can fight against all the infections that get into our body. You can talk about the nose, the air you breathe. There are filters. You can talk about kidneys, right? They have 1 lakh filters. That's the way how God created the system. And it 1 lakh filters. Can you imagine in your kidney? So beautiful it is for an organ. And it filters all the toxics and it throws out, and that's where the urinary system is created. Likewise, even there is a filter system in your mind and heart, right? Only thing, we just don't tend to handle that filter system or realize that there is a filter system, but instead we forget and we start breathing everything inside or taking everything deep inside. That's where the depression develops. But there are very smart people, there are people who stay very positive, there are very successful folks on the as entrepreneurs or business folks or professionals. Why? Because They realize there is a filter and they make the best use of the filter, and we are going to talk about that. All right, let's start this session. Now only I'm getting into the session. So we are trying to close on time all the time, but sorry if it is getting a little delayed here and there. What is self-pity? As by definition, if you see, self-pity is an emotion directed towards others with the goal of attracting somebody's attention. Or in my own words, I will say it's like a, uh kindergarten habit or a baby language. What babies do? Have you seen the babies? 1 month old baby, so cute, right? 3 months, 6 months, so cute. The activities changes, emotion changes. One thing doesn't change in the baby until it has become a toddler and start running around. One thing doesn't change in the baby's character or attitude. You know what? Getting somebody's attention. It will pretend in such a way as if the whole world has become dark. I'm the only one who's so brutally treated, cruel, people all around me, something like that, right? But actually that's not the truth. But the baby will start reacting in such a way to get somebody's attention. Why? Because the baby, it's quite natural that it feels very insecure because of being left lonely, or the mother is not around, or whatever. But many grown up adults, many grown up teenagers, children who have crossed at the age of 6 or 8 or 10 or getting into teenage, the hormonal changes, they are not able to cope up with this insecure feeling, and they also start communicating things in a insecure language. That's a baby language, and that's called as self sympathy. They just get into the self pity immediately. Oh, look at me, am I the only one who's drubbed alone? Is one of, does it happen to me alone? Have you seen the kids, especially, why me, something like that? They will be always pouncing, why me, why me alone, right? That is a baby character. And at what age group onwards one is not supposed to ask this question of why me? Actually, you know what, there is no age group. Even people who are very old at the age of 70, 80, people who are in 60s, people who are in 40s, there is no limitation. Why? Because this emotion is such a dangerous animal, and one thing is going to be common across all the age groups is this emotion. You need to have a mechanism or a method or a tactic to realize what emotion it is, alienate it carefully, and then deal with it. One such emotion is called as self-pity, right? And they feel so sorry for everything that happens, even if it is positive or negative, doesn't matter. They'll immediately get into the self-pity mode or doubting mode. There is a problem. Okay, I'm going to ask few questions to give you the light, and then we will talk about a story, and then we'll give you the tips. It's going to be very interesting. Just stay focused. Very important. Why? Because many of us have this habit without even we knowing that we have such an habit. So that's why it's important to listen to such sessions. You're going to spend just 20 minutes of your valuable time, but who knows, this may fix 20 different problems and you're going to walk in light, right? So stay tuned, be patient. Is self-pity a bad thing? The most frequently asked question is self-pity a bad thing or a good thing? Some people say it's a good thing. Then only you will realize what you want. You see how people twist the question, right? Self-pity isn't a good or it's not about a good or a bad thing. It just doesn't work over a long term and take you towards the successful side or towards the positive side. It brings in a lot of negativity. Why? Because the more we feel sorry for ourselves, the more inclined we are to keep repeating unwanted circumstances. We keep rewinding this tape, all bad memories, rewinding. How do you feel? Once you rewind the bad memories, try it out. You won't feel good at all. At least I won't feel good. So you need to understand on a long term, this is not going to work. Maybe there is a problem short term. Don't immediately feel so sorry and worked up. And people who get so sorry and worked up, they end up with some kind of idiotic decisions, and they don't want to kind of continue living or something like that, right? That's not the right thing to do. If that is the case, half the world will be empty right now, right? Many people will have the same feeling, but they cope up, they overcome, right? That's what we are trying to tell you here. Next frequently asked question is it okay to feel sorry for yourself? In other words, is it okay to feel self-sympathy? The previous question itself is asked in a different way, nothing else. See, we all feel sorry for ourselves, and it's okay because it's a natural human emotion to have some self-pity, and which will lead you to introspection, to analyze why that self-sympathy came. See, if self-sympathy didn't come, you would not go to the introspective study or analytical study. Only when you analyze, you will feel what created that. So you like to think that everyone cares about how you feel. right? You would love to tell the world how you feel and for the world to understand. Probably that's the starting point for you to communicate something back to the world. Therefore, it's not a bad thing. It's okay if you go through that situation, but no one, or you may feel no one cares really how you feel. Therefore, that's the starting point to help yourself to make everyone understand about your feelings. So there is a positive side too in the self sympathy. It's always not to be looked at negativity from the negativity perspective, right? I'm setting the context. Slowly we will get into the detailed study. I will close on time. Trust me. Don't be impatient, please. If you are impatient, that itself is a sign that you are so bothered about who you are and self sympathy and all that. And that's exactly the reason why we are right in front of you. So don't be impatient. Now, there is a statistics being done by the National Institute of Mental Health, NIMH. It's quite popular in US, right? They estimated around. So one question is, am I the only one? Right? Like, why me? Like that. The other question is, am I the only one going through this? That's how the self sympathy people or self pity people will tend to think. They are the only one in the world they are going through this problem. I have a good news for you, right? Now I'll tell you the good news in a moment in statistics, right? In 2016, they took a survey and they found out that there were around 6.2 million US adults who had this problem. That accounts to 6.7 percentage of the US adult population only, male and female together. So this is very common in the ages of 18 to 25 or 14 to 25, right? 10.9 percentage um, in adult and around 10.5 percentage in the teenage groups have been accounted. Therefore, totally it accounts to somewhere around 20-25 percentage of the US population alone that were discovered to have this kind of habit or emotion called as self-pity. Are you encouraged now that you are not the only one? That means that that 20.25 percentage of people are missing today in the world. No, right? The other survey is also telling in the 25 percentage of people, roughly around 18 to 19 percentage of people bounced back without any treatment, no medication, no yoga, no breathing exercise, nothing. Just that one technique worked in them. What you know? They started analyzing who they are. Nobody taught them this. They just bounced back. And I told you, right? That is the natural filter that is available in your mind. After a period of time, your mind itself will be coached in such a way that it will start resisting. It will start bouncing back. It will have that kind of a repellent attitude. It will repel against these bad thoughts and it will do that analytical study. Now, why this filter doesn't work for many of them is they remove the filter and they throw it. Why? The remaining 6 percentage I'm talking about, they don't like this filter to work. Then whose problem it is? Filter's problem or your mind problem or your problem? You make the decision to live in this kind of, bad moods and mood swings and all that. Then who in the world can help you? Right? The very reason why we want to have these sessions is to pull you on that 18 percentage of people who bounced back. Not if you are on the 6 percentage of people, you're welcome, be part of that 18 percentage. My desire is all the 25 percentage should be on this side. Which side? Positive side, making the filter, enabling them. See, allow the filter to work. That's all. You don't have to do anything supernaturally here, right? Just allow the filter to work. Okay, I'm going to tell you a very short story. There used to be a wrestler. His name is Kabir, right? That's my own imagination story. So this wrestler was so powerful in the state of Punjab in India. The wrestling championship is quite popular. In the mud they will have. It's not like your Olympic wrestling championship in the mud. Indians know very well. If you are an American or belonging to any other nation, there is a beautiful movie by name Sultan. Salman Khan acted in that movie. That's a wrestling championship I'm talking about. Kabir is into that wrestling and he's quite fit and nobody could defeat him. So the enemy camp started devising a plan. Nothing could pull this guy down. We have to somehow implant or plant in his mind about making him feel sorry about something. Therefore, every day people started visiting him from enemy camp, just like they are caring for him. Hey Kabir, why is your face so dull? Is it? Kabir would ask, no, I'm not dull. Then Kabir would go a little far away distance and someone else will ask the same question again. Hey Kabir, I see some change in your face. Why are you looking very unhappy? Like that, what happened is day after day, people started imposing these kind of negative questions. One fine day, Kabir started focusing on the negativity. Is it somewhat true that many people are asking the same question? And therefore, he started focusing on the negative side, what was imposed, which is not the truth, right? The real who is who you are is not that negative person. There is a lot of positivity in you, but the circumstances, what you go through, right? And the people whom you meet, there may be enemies, right? There may be people who are jealous, they envy, and they inject a lot of negativity in you. This is what exactly happened in Kabir's case. He started focusing on the negativity and he started getting distracted. So what happened is, over a period of time, that developed as something called as what? Self-sympathy. Hey, look who I am and what I am. And then he became very thin and he lost all his muscles, he lost his talent and all that. The enemies were able to defeat him. And this is not the same champion Kabir. This is that Kabir upon whom everybody felt so pity. He became a self-sympathy Kabir and a self-pity Kabir. What is the moral of the story? See, you definitely should understand your own strengths. We keep telling this in every session. You definitely should understand who you are, regardless of whoever it may be. Your own father, your own mother, they just do not know the real who you are. After a period of time, you have that self-enabled capability to discover your strengths. Nowadays, children are very smart. From the age of 9 or 10, they just know how to discover what they want. And they're quite stubborn. Some children are quite stubborn. No, mommy, no, daddy, I don't want to do this. Don't force children. Just leave them. Take it easy, right? If you force them, that itself becomes a kind of a depression. And who knows, that becomes a self sympathy or a self pity that they were not allowed to become like someone whom they want to be, isn't it? So that's the moral of the story. But then Kabir had not even focused on the negativity what was imposed by the enemy camp, and had he stayed in that confidence of the real who he was, then I think nobody could defeat him even for a million years. Right? That's the moral of the story. It's not a great story, but that is something you can learn. And you might have gone through the same situation also, right? You had been doing well at your workplace, but suddenly you start declining. Why? There is something wrong between the time where you started prospering very well and to the time where you started declining. Just take that interval and start analyzing the situation, the kind of people whom you mingle, the kind of situations you faced, and the kind of thought process you went to, the kind of difficulties that might have happened in your own family that could have impact, right? Something like that. So start analyzing, and at some point of time, you will definitely feel the major reason could be related to this self sympathy, that you're not able to do anything on your own. And why me? Why alone? It only happens to me in the world. That is your own assumption. That's why we gave you the statistics. There are quite large number of people who are along with you. Even now, while I'm talking, there are a lot of people who are going through the same situation, but 80 percentage of people from that count bounce back naturally. They find a way to live their life. They find a way to overcome. I want you to be one among them, right? Now, what are the signs of self-pity, right? Like a checklist. We keep doing that in every session. We give you a checklist. You start ticking, cross mark, ticking, cross mark. Cross mark means it's negative. That means you are good. If it is tick mark, then careful, right? It's a positive result. Therefore, you need to take care of that. That's why we are giving the checklist. 7 or 8 things I'll quickly tell, and then we will move on. You find it very hard to enjoy life, and especially when a joke is cracked, you smile and you immediately repent. You don't want to smile. You hate smiling, you hate enjoying life, you hate to be humorous. Why? Because that is disturbing my self sympathy. What else? I love that depression, I love to be very sad. Why? Because you want somebody's attention. What else? That's what we had been telling you, right? That baby language, you would like to always communicate in the baby language, right? Some babies, when they think they have to cry, no, no, all situations would be fine. They are not hungry, nothing. They just want to cry, weep, and they will keep weeping, and the mother has to take and pamper and all that. Then only it, because why? It needs that attention, that love, that care. For a baby, it's okay, but imagine, no, how babies used to drink milk, that feeding bottle and all that. If you're a 9-year-old boy or a 10-year-old girl, go sit in the middle of the house and take the feeding bottle and start drinking. Whoever, the stranger coming into your house, he will jump over the compound wall and run away. Something is wrong with this kid. I don't want. See, that terrible you look to people. Only thing, nobody had told you, or you had not realized it by yourself, right? That's such a terrible thing to do. So don't get into that baby habit. Please come out of it, right? The second sign or the checklist here we are trying to say here is, you will be a big drama queen. You know how to narrate a drama, how to act, and get somebody's attention. See, everybody, nobody knows who you are, but you definitely know who you are, right? If whatever I'm telling you the truth, please say a big yes in your heart. You don't have to say that to anyone. Pretend you are all okay, but then inside, please tell the truth, right? You will create all the narrative scenes and all that. You create a scene and drama queen and all that. Why? Because again, same reason. You want somebody's attention over you. Else you just cannot eat, you cannot live normally. You have a big problem, my friend. So please take care, right? Next, you get so addictive. You are not peaceful. Again, the same reason I'm telling you. You are, if you are not exposing these kind of dramas and sadness and all that, sitting alone, going to the corner, everybody will be enjoying in the party. You alone are so unique. You will pick a glass of water and you will just start walking in the reverse direction. You are so addictive. Why? Because without that, you are so addicted, and without that, you just cannot live your life. Are you one? Watch out. You have that problem, right? The fourth thing is which I'm trying to tell is these people are classified as individualist. What they call themselves or identify themselves as, I want to be a self-independent person. Actually, you know what? The truth is, self-independency is good. Being independent is nice, but mixing independency with this self-sympathy or self-pity and always rubbing yourself or drenching yourself in this grievous mood and sorrowful attitude and all that, that's not the good thing, right? So you need to split it apart. You need to tear it apart. Independency is good, instill it, keep it with you. But that independency, if it is mixed with this kind of sympathy and you want attention and all that, just separate it and throw it somewhere into the garbage. That's the advice I'm already giving you, but this is one, this is also part of the checklist. Fifth one, you always tend to be a person who is past oriented. You would like to, you are a champion in rewinding the tape. One small trigger, you will connect it with 20 incidents which would have happened 20 years ago. You have such a sharp memory to hold back all the garbage incidents or which are worth for nothing, right? It will only make you walk backward. Say, try to walk backward, right? In movies and all, you will see they will play it backward, right? Walking backward instead of marching forward. You just see how it is. It will look so funny. You will laugh at yourself. In your real life, this is what is happening. You are walking backward. So you need to have this habit of switching off that bad memories. And if, I mean, if you want to know whether you are into this self sympathy inflictions or not, right? You have this habit of rewinding the tape, you are already one. So that checklist is a tick mark, right? Watch out. Next is, you tend to be a person who is always low in self esteem. You don't have any respect for yourself, right? You don't like to present yourself good, better. You will not shave your face, or you will not dress neatly. You will not polish your shoes. You will not tuck in your shirt, something like that, right? You won't present yourself good. Why? Because always one question: what is the use of all this, right? Life is a terrible thing to live, and all that. These kind of thoughts, why it comes is because you don't develop any interest. Why? Because you're always in that depression, sorrowful, that anguish and anger, right? Nobody cares for me and all that will never allow you to present yourself, enjoy your life. There are multiple things that you could think of. We will talk about the tips how to overcome, and we forget many things in life that we are blessed. I will talk about one person towards the end. I think you already guessed it. I will talk about that person. Lastly, the sign, if you are in this kind of self pity, deep down you don't believe you are worthy of love. No one could love you, no one can love you. You are already conclusive, right? But that's your assumption, right? That's your assumption. This world definitely longs for love. You go and start talking to 10 human beings, you will find at least 8 of them long for love. See, that's the way how the human anatomy is designed. We need each other. The human beings need each other. And for some reasons, the industrial revolution and all these revolutions that came over a period of time in the last 2 centuries separated the world, right? There are a bunch of workaholics versus bunch of people who want to have fun, bunch of socialized people and all that. but all of these people have one commonality among them. That is what, the love deep inside of them. They need support from each other, but since this revolution had separated them, they are not able to mingle. Their ideologies are the blockers, their doctrines are the blockers, the tools they use. Some people are very overwhelmed with this kind of FB, Facebooks and all that. The other person doesn't like the social tool because his definition is different, so he lives in a different world. But the common thing that connects all of them is love. So that's your assumption that nobody loves me, and that itself is the 80% reason for your self pity, because there is nobody to care for me. Baby attitude, baby cries, there is nobody to pick me, there is nobody to take care of me. Where is my feeding bottle? Always feeding bottle is given, then it asks where is my toy, then toy is given. Now where is my mother? Mother is here. Where is my father? The question is never ending in baby language, right? That's how your attitude is. Sometimes you don't get answers for all the questions in life. Please understand, right? You definitely don't get answers for all your questions, right? You need to really say, this question is unanswered. It'll remain like that forever. Move to the next question, right? In your examination paper, 10 questions given. Do you stick to the 2 questions which you do not know? No, immediately you will start answering the first 8 questions which you know. Why? Because you're going to score marks, else you're going to fail. All right. Well, see, if it's the other way around where you do not know 8 questions and you know only 2 questions, there itself you know you are a failure. So study well. Again, I don't want to convey a wrong message. Better study well and go prepared for examinations. Right. We'll talk about the tips and we are going to close this session. I'm really excited. How do I overcome, my friend? You tell me, how do I overcome these? Give me some tips. Yes, of course, we are here to do that. Finally, we don't end without any tips or showing you the path forward, right? It'll be an injustice. So there are 7 or 8 things, easy things to practice. Try it. At least one of them, if it works, you are on the positive side. Forget it, right? Listen to me. You have no pet at home, no? Pussycat or small puppy dog. Buy one. You will spend time with that, and there will be change of attention, and the pet will start caring for you. You will start caring for the pet. That is the first way to establish love with an animal. See, very sad, no? There are so many human beings around. Ultimately, you started to depend on an animal, which is not bad. At least start with an animal, then slowly move towards your human beings, your inner circle. That is your mother, father, relatives, friends, cousins, nephew, niece. You can start in that circle and slowly start expanding. See, I'm not trying to what is say in asking you to inherit a habit of being an extrovert, right? You don't have to say hello, how are you, hello, clapping hand, hey, hey, how are you, and all that. No, no, nothing like that, right? It's a normal attitude that we care for each other, but then you don't have to go around looking for all the people. At least you can start with your inner circle, from your own family, from your own home, right? Start either getting a pet or grow a plant. That's the first tip with what we are giving. Every day you water the plant. I'll tell you what, you see the plant growing and longing for your love. Something inside of you happens, changes, right? That's why gardening is a very good habit. It's a refreshment for your, it re-energizer for your life, and it works very well. Many people have witnessed. I've gone through the statistics. At least 70 to 80% of people have witnessed that it works for them. Self-sympathy habit people, right? Second thing is sitting in the sun. Physically, it is going to help you. Why? Because vitamin D is definitely needed for you to boost that energy. It rejuvenates, it replenishes you with a new energy, with a new thought process. Many children, especially, they need a lot of vitamin D. Adults also need, but what, you don't have time, no? Always in front of computer. Please go and sit in sun. Tropical countries like India, we are blessed with sun, but city countries like US and Europe and all, only in certain season you will get sun. So you take off and go lie down in beach or something like that, which anyway you do, I know. Third tip is recognize the warning signs of your crumbling. When you're crumbling down, you will definitely know. You don't need anybody to tell you, right? You definitely know you are not like before. You're not able to walk, you're not able to jump, you're not able to dance, you're not able to play the music. Your regular habitual things also you're not able to do. Routine work you're not able to do. That is the sign, warning sign, right? Like how some cholesterol levels are up, warning sign. Immediately get into diet, start taking tablets, then your cholesterol level goes down, and then you maintain the consistency like that. Take it as a warning sign. That's the third tip, right? And you are the coach to your mind, and you are the first one who will get to know the truth. No one else can help you here, right? The fourth thing is, question your perceptions. Most of the times what happens is the perceptions go wrong because of a misconception. You would have assumed something, but ultimately when you go and inquire and research, you would have found like 8 out of 10 times it is only your own assumption. And it becomes more when you're getting into the self sympathy habit, right? Always it will be a negativity. So please question your perception. Is this reasonable? Is this meaningful? Do you think it is definitely the truth? Did you inquire properly? Are you confident? Like 5 6 questions you start questioning, your perception changes. That's the fourth thing. Fifth thing, practice some gratitude, right? Thank people, thank God, thank the nature, thank for what you are today compared to people who are not what you are today. You have a job, you have your own car, you have your own house, you have food to eat, you have good clothing, you have good shelter. Oh, please be mindful of this habit of attitude of gratitude, right? You need to have that attitude of gratitude of who you are. The COVID situation, many people lost their jobs, right? And their children could not be sent to school. They are sitting at home, not knowing what to do. And if you're a teenager, you have been put enrolled in school, your parents are still having the job, you have no reasons to complain. I got a little irritated. My voice went up. You have no reasons to complain. Then where is the question of self pity and all that, depression and all that, right? That's the fifth thing. Sixth thing, practice this is going to help you. Mother Teresa's policy, helping, start helping people, get into charitable deeds. Some portion of your money, little portion of your money, say some $100, $50, start giving it to the needy, poor, downtrodden. Something inside of you will change. You will feel that kind of, that happiness, that self complacency, right? You will feel that rejuvenated energy inside of you. That is a very good thing which many people have witnessed when they started giving to others a little portion of their money, little portion of their clothes, little portion of their food. They started feeling something different, and it just dragged them out of that self sympathy habit, and they started getting to know how blessed they are. Again, I'm telling the same thing, right? Because you don't understand how blessed you are, and then only, and that's the reason you start walking backward, right? Next thing is like eighth thing, please refuse to complain. In other words, refuse to murmur. In other words, don't make use of this big hole on your face, that is mouth. Shut your mouth, shut your heart, shut your mind. See, shutting the mouth and opening the mind wide and heart wide with all the garbage things, it is as useless as not shutting your mouth. Better you could have at least poured out. That would be helpful. So shut your mind, heart, and mouth. Say no to complaining, murmuring, grumbling, mood swings, angry words. No, nothing doing, right? Just say no. You may feel like you may be so tempted. Why? Because you are so used to that, right? You will be feeling so tempted, but just start saying no. 10 out of 10 times, start saying no to 5 times. Then it becomes 6. Then 10 out of 10 times you will start saying no. No, say a big no. You want to shout it loud, just go to a private place, go to the toilet and say no, I'm not complaining today. Try practicing this. Psychologically you will feel rejuvenated, right? Last three things, right? Get enrolled yourself into some sort of sports, meditations, yoga, breathing, praying. You want to go to the church, you want to go to your temple, mosque, anywhere. Just get enrolled into. Don't stay at home. You just cannot stay at home always, right? You move around and then get enrolled yourself into some sort of music, singing, anything you're talented, you're passionate about. Just get into that. And the last two things: stay away from wrong companionship. Anybody that induces or triggers that bad feelings and thoughts. Some people will come only to trigger bad thoughts, remind you of the past. Hey, how that guy behaved, no, she shouldn't have spoken like that. I never expected this from her. How can she do that to you like that? Stay away from these kind of people. That will fix 60% of the problem by itself, right? Alienate yourself and get associated, replace it with good people, right? Who will talk about the future, who will talk about positive things, who will talk about, like me, like become a friend to me. If you have no one, I will tell you 20 different things how you can make the best use of your time and come up in your life. I will help you to identify who you are, right? And we can help each other, right? Last thing is, look for inspiring characters, and that will build your mental strength. One inspiring character that you can see right behind in the slide is, who's that? Helen Keller. All of us know. Mute, deaf, blind. And you know what she did in her life? Just by feeling the touch. That's what I call it as love. You'll be touched in your heart, beloved. I'm telling you this. You start focusing on people, how they struggle. Look at somebody intently, right? You will start feeling that, that compassionate attitude. Why? Because that is part of our human anatomy. We don't rejuvenate it, we don't electrify it, we don't trigger it. But Helen Keller used that one aspect. She felt the touch. With a touch only, she was able to. Then you know what all she did, right? And how she communicated. There are a lot of videos of Helen Keller on YouTube. Are you mute? Are you deaf? Are you blind? All the three functions, sensory system works perfectly fine. No. Now tell me, you have any reasons to complain? Now tell me, you have any reasons to say in this kind of self-sympathy attitude? I know the answer is no. It can't be anything else. So remember Helen Keller if you don't remember anyone else, right? Okay. God bless you. Stay tuned. We are going to meet you soon with another session. I know I have taken plenty of time, but this is very useful. Why? Because this is a infliction which many of us don't even know that is inside of us, and our job is to bring that out of you and kill it forever. God bless you.